What's up, Culture Drop? I am Galen. This video is about career advancement and development and grit, and essentially just what do you have to lose? When it comes to asking for a raise, going and networking inside your company with executives and leaders and like higher up people in the organization to like make connections and network, or negotiating salary if you're offered a job internally or externally. If there's one thing that I could do, I would love to imbue everybody in the universe and in the job market with a little bit more confidence and kind of like attitude around these things, and basically holding on to the idea that what have you got to lose? I think a lot of people are afraid to do these things because they think that the consequences will be really terrible. I also understand there's context to this. So yes, some bosses are terrible and some workplaces retaliate and da-da-da. But for the most part, if you are a great intentional employee, you cannot lose your job by asking for a raise. And if you've applied for a position, gone through interviews, and you've been offered a position, they will not rescind the offer because you ask for more money or you negotiate with them. That's not a consequence that will happen. Not if you ask for like 3 times as much as the job pays. Asking for money will not cause them to like not offer you the job anymore. And the other thing that I think is important for career development and advancement is to network with executives inside your company and higher level leaders, your boss's boss's boss. Not to be a kiss or play politics, but to go to that person and sit down and say, look, this is where I want to go in my career. How do I get there? What is the fastest path to that? What are the skills and things that you need to see from me? Or if I want to have your job in 10 years or 5 years, like what is the path to get there? That is important to like make those connections and network inside your organization. Just have those conversations. They don't have to be nervous and weird. It can just be like, hey, I'm coming to you for advice. To culminate all of these things into one single piece of advice that I think is really, really important for you in your entire career, which is this: to never say no on behalf of the other person. I see a lot of like friends, colleagues, and just hear lots and lots of stories. I think this resonates with me at times in my career as well, where people don't apply for the job because they're like, oh, they wouldn't hire me because I don't have this experience or whatever. Or they don't ask for a raise. They'd be like, no, they'd never say no because of this, or right? Or they don't negotiate salary. It's like, oh, they'd never give me that much. Are you crazy? Like, don't ever say no on behalf of the other person. Go and ask. The worst thing that can happen is they say no, and then you're in exactly the same boat as if you hadn't asked. But so many times you go and do this thing, you apply for the job, or you ask for a raise, or you negotiate salary, and it turns out in your favor. They just say yes sometimes. There's one thing I would say, do not ever break that rule for yourself, is don't say no from them to you before you have the conversation. Let them be the ones to say no. If you adopt that mindset, and if you go and ask more and try for more things, apply for more jobs that you don't necessarily think you're ready for, like it will turn out sometimes in a surprising positive way for yourself. And the other thing that comes along with that is that it requires to sort of embrace that as a sort of like mentality and a behavior for yourself. It requires a little bit more grit, because if you go and ask for things that you could potentially hear no from, you're going to hear more no's, right? You're also going to hear some yeses that are great, but you need to adopt a certain amount of resilience around hearing a no, that like you go and ask for something and you get rejected, you don't get the job or whatever, to be able to go from kind of setback to setback, or rejection from rejection, or failure to failure, without losing steam and just being like, okay, it's one single no. It is one word in one sentence, in one paragraph, in one chapter of the book of my life. It is never a huge deal. One last point that I want to make about this that will also help you is some of these things are not things that you are skilled in and born knowing how to do. Negotiate salary if you've been offered a job. Ask for a raise. There are countless hundreds of hours of free advice on YouTube to learn how to do these things, to interview well, to ask for a raise, to negotiate salary. Go and gain those skills. You can spend, before you have a round of interviews, if you're looking for a job, you can go spend an hour on YouTube and literally become like nearly an expert, or at least have a ton of language and like word tracks and things to say that will help you in that process. Take that upon yourself, like to feel empowered, go and ask for it, like have some more confidence, have more resilience and grit so that you can hear a no without feeling totally deflated. Educate yourself, right? Gain the skills, gain the knowledge, learn what are the most effective ways to ask for a raise or negotiate salary. And the last piece of advice, which I think is the most important, which is like never say no on behalf of the other person. Do you want to be famous on TV? How you doing? Oh, oh my gosh, you're so cute. This is my 21-year-old old ass cat. I love you. We have to film some stuff, okay? Thanks for watching and tuning in. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have our weekly email list, The Culture Drop. You can subscribe to that and get these emails right in your inbox. Follow our social media channels. Put out a lot of free content around being more awesome and building great teams.